Okay, so I'm gonna be super irregular with this video format because I really don't want to create a video when I don't have anything worthwhile to say. Because most content creators, and I don't want to call myself content creator, but they get in this cycle where they have to post every once in a week, twice in a week, or something like that. And when there is nothing to say worthwhile of your time or my time, I don't even want to post it for long term. But yeah, the new thing that the new concept in my mind is of surrender, and I'm trying to go deep into that concept. Like, first thing is about surrendering your intelligence. At the at some places, the true sign of intelligence is that when it's not your field, you surrender your intelligence. Like, you might be the top CA at your firm or gold medalist or finance guy, but at a doctor's place, don't try to be the smartest guy over there, because that's not your playing field. Surrender your intelligence. And I personally think that is something which I see a lot when we handle medical based clients and other clients, where they come up with Google research and other different kinds of research, and and it feels very weird. Like, can you surrender at a place? Like, can you surrender? Because when it's easy to surrender for people when you don't know the person. I'll give you an example. Like, when we sit in a flight, we surrender our life to the pilot that we don't even know his or her name. And even in a cab, like, we are just surrendering ourselves that this person will take me home safely. And but when it comes to people we know or people we have interacted with, we start feeling this person might not be someone who's smarter than me. And that's where all the problems comes. That's where our uh, capacity of taking the feedback goes like really low. Because what happens is, like, you would go to a therapy, and from a therapist you would take the same feedback. But if your wife, if your husband or spouse, brother, sister, cousin, friend, best friend is trying to give you a similar feedback, you might not take it because you won't surrender to them. Like, when it comes to people we know and people whose weaknesses we know, we just stiff up too hard that, okay, don't tell me what's wrong or what's right with me. And that is something that I am trying to do, trying to work with, in terms of surrendering my intelligence where I'm not intelligent. You might be one of the top athletes and in a basketball court, and pickleball is a new game for you. And for someone who's playing even for 6 months, it's okay to surrender. Don't be, that guy or that girl. And second thing, I'm seeing this as a pattern, that if you really want to live a life of least resistance, where you really intervene when you have to intervene, otherwise you don't intervene. uh, how do I explain this concept? It's like, can you trust the natural flow of life? Can you be someone who can believe in this thing, that so far, even when I have intervened and literally got anxious and disturbed that life is not going my way, whatever way life took, eventually you are satisfied. When you see it in the past, you are like, okay, I created such a drama and scene about that, but I'm glad that happened. So if you surrender to the natural flow of life, that is another thing that will help you a lot. Like, in long run, it helps you a lot, that yes, you are ready to surrender uh, to the natural flow of life. It's one of the examples which came to me is that once I was wearing earphones and listening to an amazing podcast and sometimes songs, and there was in the background a conversation going in the same car, and I was like, do I have to participate in that conversation, or can I just continue listening to my music? Because even if I want to, it makes me curious, but do I have to change everything? Do I have to intervene in everything? If you can think of your life as in a bubble where you are standing outside of the bubble and observing your life as an observer, and intervene when you only have to intervene. Do not try to control all aspects of life. Like, look, you can see your life as it is and do not intervene when you don't have to intervene. And I'm not sure if that particular this part makes sense to everyone else, but it makes like a lot of sense to me, that you surrender at a lot of places, but 5 to 10% things which makes a large difference in your life, that's where you don't surrender. That's where you be like, okay, this is where I'm gonna play my moves, and this is something that I cannot just let it go. But rest everything I'm chill with, like, and that makes your life a lot of lot more into the life of least resistance. That's where the disturbances don't disturb you anymore. That's where, like, sometimes you take the driving wheel of the car and sometimes you take the back seat, and that's okay. Like, if you learn how to enjoy the back seat, uh, and not blame the person who's on the driving seat, you might learn how to enjoy life. And that's something that I always think about. Yeah, so that's something that I wanted to say or talk about, the art of surrendering. And yeah, I'm like reading this book right now, Jed McKenna, Spiritual Enlightenment, where he takes out the spiritual out of the enlightenment and just talk about enlightenment as a journey, and how hard it is to quit the identity of I. And yeah, I think I should be making another video on the identity part, that I'm trying to strip away or shed away as many identities as possible. And that is something I would love to talk about. But yeah, I mean, if there is one thing that you guys might want me to talk about, I will check the comments. Maybe, like, if you come across this video 3 years later, that's also okay. But I will check the comment, and if it's something that I would love to talk about or something I have read, because I keep reading a lot between my work, and I would love to talk about and see my opinion. And if you guys have any other opinion, you leave that opinion as well. So yeah, see you.